hours, you bullshitter. Hours.
That's it. Yeah,
hours.
That's fine. I can. Does that mean I can rewind? So it's hours back.
Yeah, you can. I hope you know you was testing at the wrong time of day, by the way, there, Liam.
What?
I hope you know you was testing at the wrong time of day.
Are you taking piss?
Fucking smarter.
Why didn't you tell me?
Didn't want to. Evening, Mike. You all right?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good.
Oh fuck!
I'll get you them images after we've done this.
I'll get it in a minute. I'll be able to grab it. I might
Okay.
try and grab it now, actually.
10 minutes.
Where are we?
Medium cloud. You also tested on a clear day when it's medium cloud, but whatever, Liam. I don't want to pick you up on your fucking flaws.
I don't care now. It's not like I'm racing from anything, to be fair, anyway. I'm racing to get this car put in. Nah, I'm racing to put this car inside a fucking wall.
Exactly.
Or dig a hole for it. Get it.
If I see any if I see any Max Verstappen incidents today, there'll be penalisations. There'll be penalties galore. Listening. Nah, mate. Session's early. Yep, session is bang on. I think I'll have you know it's bang on time, sunshine. Clear grid order. Fucking terrible. Fucking honestly. Yeah. Wasting his mum's cereal. Right, Monkey Boy's not racing. Where's RJ Dale? Is there? Send him an invite.
No, he's not done it.
On.
He's late.
Stream's
he's
on.
Late. 2 minutes late to be exact.
Fuck, can't I find the fucking...
It comes up at, at the beginning.
Yeah. I've not posted it to Facebook.
YouTube. No, when you refresh YouTube, it normally comes up,
right.
on like new vids.
Yeah.
But it didn't upload it. Oh, a minute.
Boy, there's a book.
Have I done the Mutt's Nuts? Where's the Mutt's Nuts? Is he on? He's there. Send him an invite.
I was wondering what the difference in this track and 300
Oh shit!
It's just a hairpin bit.
200 to the 300. Yeah, there's just
left in it.
there's just no infield.
Yeah, forget the infield map.
Yeah.
Right, I'm just going to change it back to what it was.
Can't they have a version of Snetchton what fucks off the bomb?
Just the chicanes. Just get the fucking chicanes to fuck.
The bomb was the last full length.
Oh, is it not the?
Yeah, let's just get rid of all of that.
Yeah, I was going to say cool. I was going to say.
That's what switch, babe.
Just get the chicanes to fuck out.
What did you say? What after straight? You got the left and right hander.
Yeah, you've got the left hander. It's that right hander. I can do the left.
You got the left, which is Brundle, then the right, which is Nelson. Then you go to Bombo, and then the long.
Two. Which them fuckers? Brundle McLean's, whatever it is. The shit.
No, it's not McLean. Oh no, we're not at Brands Hatch. Yeah, I was going to say it's McLaren.
McLean's isn't Brands Hatch either.
I'm going to hit that left-hand wall
McLaren.
as you come round that left-hander. Fact. Because I do it every
fucking time. What was it McLean's I said?
No, you said McLean's is at Brands Hatch. It's not. McLean's is Donington.
I thought it was McLaren. I'm sure it was.
McLaren is at Brands Hatch.
Right, so I was... Okay.
Close. But not close enough.
Oh shit.
For fuck's sake,
I'm not close at all, unfortunately.
I'm starting War and Peace on my fucking internet connection as well. It's pissing me right off.
Is it still not working properly?
It just drops out every now and again, but there's no reason for it to drop out.
Yeah.
Don't disconnect instantly this time.
So I just don't know what's fucking playing about.
Oh, I went around there quite nicely.
I'm gonna come up. I do that.
I do a speed test, or if I look at my router page.
Is it a private router, one of those, or is it?
No, it's a Netgear Orbit mesh system, and it goes through a Draytech Vigo modem. I fucked Sky off because it pissed me off.
Yeah, Sky's wank.
Well, this worked perfect for a few weeks, and then all of a sudden it started. It's not quite as good.
It's not that it's too powerful, is it?
It could well be. I don't know. If I take one of the satellites out, then I just lose a big section. So if it's too powerful to clash, then without it, I'm losing sections anyway. So I need to set it up properly. I'm gonna hardwire the fucker in and put a switch, and then all the hubs are hardwired. Anything that's wired runs perfect. It's anything that uses the wireless is struggling.
Is it so the one you're using? Is it like one that you get in, like, let's say schools and shit, where you have a lot of computers and stuff, or a lot of internet connections?
Be, yeah. It could
that
be. It's
might
not an
be.
industrial strength one.
He can be fucking gone for me, Jamie, when you start a new part. I'll tell you
about
about.
300-400 quid.
Because fucking RJ Dale's now saying he can't fucking race.
I've
That's
just
3
got
weeks
to
in a
try
row.
and iron out.
Right, so DJ fills in. Fury, Little Leech, Nuts, Dan. Falguest, Gary, right, best luck, lads. Speak to you later. It's just too noisy in there when everybody's fucking on one and Keegs is blasting his music. Yeah, so basically my thought now that that's been announced of when these tracks are out, because I've kind of been waiting for them to come out.
Yeah.
Because if we stick to the actual F1 calendar of this year, Imola and Algarve are early on, aren't they? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, yeah.
So I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether to make a different sort of calendar and just randomise one, or...
I was going to say, you can do the normal calendar, but if Imola isn't there, just move Imola to the end of the season.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm happy to do that. I'm going to include China as well.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, just do the 20.
Do the 23 tracks.
Yeah, do the 23 tracks, and then as they get added on, just add them on to the end of the season.
Yeah, done.
But I was going to say, actually, no, don't add them on. Yeah, add them on to the end of the season, but add them on after Brazil, so Abu Dhabi's still the final
Still
track.
the finale, yeah. Gary. So how many's in? So there's 11 drivers in. Babe, I think I need a charger for this. Can you give me a charger for it? I think it's dead. So 13's. So 13 in. Take me and you off. That's. So who's not in? Falguest is running late. Grandad Steve's just got in.
Ben isn't racing.
Ben's not racing tonight. So I'm going to read out the grid orders. We've got Little Leech.
Yep.
PN Motorsport.
Yep.
Bryn.
Yep.
DJ Phil.
Yep.
Peaceful.
Yep.
Nuts.
Yep.
Keegs. Fury. Grandad Steve. Falguest, I know he's coming later. Dan, Gary, Liam. Just plug into Burma that second.
No, you do it.
Oh, fuck. So yeah, I was going to do ACC on Monday, which I wanted to speak to you about.
Yeah, I was going to say...
No, go on, you what, Beth?
It all depends whether I want to use the wheel on it, because if I want to use the wheel, then it'd have to be a weekend.
Yeah. Now, I'm unsure whether I want to race it as well, but I know Dan doesn't like it.
Yeah.
So I'm tempted to ask Dan to... I don't mind, I can OBS it, that's no fucking problem, do you know what I mean? It through Dan's link. But what I'd like to do is have it... Why is it not coming on here? What's it not coming on for, Beth? What I'd like to do is, obviously, if Dan doesn't want to drive it or doesn't want to commentate it on his own, then I'm happy to wait to do it with him or on my own if he didn't want to do it, whatever.
Yeah. We just have to see what's best for put a poll out whether people would want it on Saturday or Monday.
Yeah, the problem is with us trying to do that World Endurance once a week, we can either do it once a week, once a month. What we could do is we could do ACC and then just postpone it once, that 1 week of every month.
Yeah.
And do then the World Endurance event, and then maybe have nothing on a Monday, and have it then on a Saturday, or Saturday's probably better than a Sunday because of racing that we actually all watch and stuff. Why is this not doing anything, Beth? Why is it like frozen? What did you do last time? I've tried to turn it on, but it's not coming on. I've just got the fucking battery thing in the top corner. What's going on now? Right, 8 o'clock. 10 minute practice, 37 laps. Medium cloud has it been pretty much tonight at the minute?
Yeah, pretty much just all day.
7 PM race, so. Right, so then load up. Yeah, because F1 was always a plan after IndyCar. The plan was always GT, IndyCar, and then F1.
Yeah.
And then Monday night was just basically going to, I think, go through the THR Championship. But I kind of thought, Aussie V8 sounds good next. But then with ACC being put on table, it was like, all right, so do we do that on a Monday as a British GT series, or I kind of think British GT I kind of want to do first if we was to do ACC, just because really there's a few of us that are fans of the British GT, like me, yourself, Mazda, and do Spa as part of it.
Oh yeah, definitely do Spa as part of it.
And we are going to go live. 3, 2, 1. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport. Here on a Monday night, we're back for the Clio Cup, and as you can see, 7 PM track time. It is set to be a fantastic evening race as it'll get darker throughout, no doubt. Obviously we're live for the 10-minute practice. We are expecting 2 more drivers on the grid tonight. We are expecting Falgast, who's running a little late, he said, and we are hopefully expecting Fury in as well. I'm Matthew Duffin, joined in the commentary box once again on your Monday evening with my partner in crime. It seems to be my regular Monday night commentator, Jamie Brazier. Jamie, how are you?
I'm very well, man. Steve, how are you?
Very well, thank you. We've got some exciting prospects coming in the future for SimPlay Motorsport. Back end of this season as well, with 3 brand new championships on the table already, without the IndyCars even starting yet. So hopefully we can get them underway this week. But Jamie, the talks around the SimPlay group at the moment is that 3 new championships possibly on the horizon. It's sounding interesting for the future at the moment.
Yeah, it's definitely sounding interesting for the future. I'll say, oh, someone's already gone off there. I think that might be, Don't Know, Mate.
Him and Liam. Oh no, it was Liam. Because I think Don't Know, Mate's he's had a bit of a moment there now. Is that? Sorry, carry on what you were saying, Jamie.
Yeah, so it's just going to be interesting going forward. So I'm not going to give nothing away, but two of these new championships are going to be on different games. Not going to say what games, but we just have to keep an eye on the Facebook page and Discord channel.
Yeah, that is it, right indeed. We are hopefully going to have two brand new championships, as James says, on 2 different games. Not going to give them away, and 1 championship still on the Project Cars game, but I don't want to give too much away. But that one will be a bit more of a long-term sort of season instead of just every week, to be a bit different laid out to normal. And Jamie, the Clio Cup is ever providing great racing on a Monday night, and we know we've got a big GT3 series in the middle of the week as well at the moment, which going strong. We really hope, because I think me and you are quite looking forward to seeing the Indy cars on a Friday night. We just really hope that the drivers are able to make Friday to get it going, because I'm kind of itching to see. You know, we hear a lot from Unorthodox about this battle between himself and Ben Parkey, and ex-Martin Nicky say the same things about this is the fight to have. We've not yet seen it, and we should be into our 3rd round. So I really hope we can get that one underway eventually.
Yeah, so they're definitely keeping us waiting for it. Hopefully for the long wait, they give us some good racing.
Yeah, let's hope so. As we get into tonight, then we have got two new drivers on the grid. In fact, we've got that Buzzy Boy back on the pad, and we've got this main man really. That's much nuts. There's that Bozzy Boy running in the same livery as Bryn, but white trim I think on the back, not orange like Bryn's. And then we've got the double champ, the 2-time pro champ, ex-champ you can say now, Gary 131, running in an awful livery, it must be said. But he's here, he's in tonight. And Snetterton, Jamie, we've said it in the past about Gary, we'll say it again. He is scary good around here. Like yourself, with it being your home circuit, it's pretty much Gary's home circuit. He is mighty fast around here. Yeah,
so he's probably done so many laps around here that he can just nail every corner on every lap.
Yeah, he's really one of them drivers that can really just get the best out of any car around here. If you missed him on another league a couple of Sundays ago in the touring cars, he absolutely walked away with it, and stellar job it was. This is a 10-minute practice session, and would you not? Who's at the top of the standings? It's Gary once again, but he's not top of it. 6 tenths off the back of Grandad Stee at the moment. Now, we do wait for Fury. We also wait for Grandad Stee with just under 6 minutes remaining in this session. We wait for Fury and Grandad Stee. That's the big one tonight. We wait for Grandad Stee. Grandad Stee's top of the leaderboard. We wait for Falguest. Falguest and Dan last week. What an epic battle. We hope for another one this week as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully it can involve a few more people, because that would be an absolutely amazing battle.
Yeah, it really would indeed. No Ben Phelan tonight, so he's not here for this one. But we have got Liam and Gary on the track. Gary, though, could provide some entertainment. By the back by Falguest and Dan as well, starting dead last with Liam. So him and Dan could have a good battle with Falguest throughout tonight's racing. As could this man. Let's run you through the current championship standings in the IndyCar. Then it is Dan who leads the way. 104 points still up for grabs, and Dan leads the way by 7 points from Falguest. Dan's taken a win in a second place. Falguest got a first and a third, wasn't it? Lost out to Grandad Stee at Donington Park. Grandad Stee is then lining up P3 at the moment, 17 points off the back. It's Ben Phelan who's 4th, but sadly not here tonight. Fury then, he's in 5th place, but again he's not here tonight as Falguest gets into the session, so great to see Falguest get in on time. Fury's 5th, but not yet here. Keegs running in P6, and Keegs loves these cars, really does enjoy these ones, Jamie, and he's showing us what he can do when he's in a car that he's enjoying.
Yeah, so he's always up the front. Oh, he just got a little bit out of shape there. Gets up the Sutty sausage curb.
Yes, of course, forgot about that one actually. Yeah, Keegs MP5. The Mutts Nuts is in 7th place after a podium last week to set him off on to start his season off well after the retirement at Donington Park. Peaceful Explosion is then P8, 2 points behind him, with DJ Phil in 9th, a point off the back of Peaceful Explosion. Don't know, mate, is in P10 on 9 points. Sutty is 11th on 8th. Now, I've not put Sutty on the tables that get posted because Sutty, with due to work, cannot commit to the full season. So Sutty is 11th on the leaderboards on the spreadsheet, but in terms of the table, it's Monkey Boy who's 11th. Can't be with us tonight. Okay, Monkey Boy. PN Motorsport missed last week. He's 13th. Little East then 14th place. And we didn't expect Little East to have the fight so far down with DJ Phil last week, and that's no disrespect to DJ Phil. I think we just expected more from Craig.
Yeah, so really expected more from him, but I think he just had a lot of damage last week and had a massive accident, so that really hampered his race.
It did indeed. So this one then is going to be interesting as we see this this battles play out today. Falgast is in the session. Not yet heard from Fury. Hopefully Fury can get himself back in within the next couple of moments. Then, as we go through, just looking at the chat, we have got PN Motorsport Gaming. My home circuit too, says PN Motorsport Gaming. So nice to have PN. How far away from the circuit are you, PN Motorsport? There's Welshie in the chat. Go on, son. We've got 7 people watching. Let's try and get a few more on. That'd be nice, wouldn't it, to get a few more people in the chat as well. PN Motorsport, evening, good luck, and I'll try not to get in the way. He says, I'm sure you'll stay out the way, buddy. As we are 2 minutes 30 left into this session, and already the session looking good at the moment. Grandad Steve still setting that pace into the 118s, 119s for Little Leach and Keegs. Don't know, mate, 22s now. I did see him in practice in the 20s with that Bozzy boy, so he's a bit off the pace, not done a great lap at the moment. And we look forward to seeing these boys out there tonight and to see what they can do. As then, Falgast not yet done a lap, neither has DJ Phil. I don't think we're going to get Fury in tonight, and that's a real shame because he's had some good battles with Keegs this season and looked quick coming through that field last week, Jamie, at Silverstone Classic. Forgot where we was then. At Silverstone Classic, he looked quick coming through the field there to get to nab a 4th place, I think it was in the end, after the Mudsnuts got the wins. Jamie, home circuit for yourself and Gary and PN Motorsport as well. What does the 200 circuit give us that the 300 doesn't?
Let's say 200 circuits means that it's just a bit more straight line speed, whereas with the 300 you got the infield circuits, there's a lot more twisty, but it also means that there's less overtaking opportunities, so people will be using the Bentley Straight very, very effectively to try and get overtake done into Brundle and Nelson.
Yeah, the hairpin as well. Wilson, is it?
Wilson. That was because it is Montreal on the game, but it's been
the game registers
renamed to Wilson.
Yeah, so Wilson, that also gives you a bit of different dynamic for that corner, doesn't it? Because obviously the 300, you run out wide at Wilson, you're kind of on the grass on your exit of the corner on the run down towards Palmer, but tonight you can kind of use the outside of Wilson because it's in a little left-hand kink down onto the Bentley Straight, so you can kind of use that as a bit of an opportunity to overtake somebody, maybe get a bit of a run onto that Bentley Straight themselves.
Yeah, so you just want good. So that's going to be very key, just to get a good exit onto the Bentley Straight, get into someone's slipstream, and they go for a move at the end of the straight.
We cannot wait for this one then. Dan wins tonight. That'll be win number 19 here at SimPlay Motorsport. If Gary wins tonight, that'll be win number 16, number 17 for Gary. They're coming for Jamie Brazier's record that stands at 22 at the minute. But I've got a feeling that the first milestone for race wins is 25. I've got a feeling we may see Jamie get that one this season in the GT3s. We also have Keegs making his 48th appearance, so he's 2 away from the big 50, Jamie. And just looking down that order as well, no one else really close to it at the moment, and no one else close to making their next couple of wins. But it is going to be interesting though to see what happens here tonight. I do really think that looking at pace, Gary Little Each, Grandad Steve, the quickest 3, Dan only 4th. We didn't get to see a lap from Falgast. I'm quite intrigued as to what will happen here. I will go through the grid order on the formation lap, but I'm very intrigued as to what the pace of Falgast is compared to them top 3. Dan in 4th, he would, wouldn't he? Just as I was on about it, he would, wouldn't he? Half a second quicker. But I still think, reverse grid, Jamie, I think Dan's possibly got a fight on his hand here tonight.
Oh yeah, he's definitely got a fight on his hand. Say someone at the front can just disappear. He could get involved in a massive incident. We've seen massive incident here in the GT5s.
Oh god, that was funny. Yes, I was racing in that one. That was brilliant. Then the pit window. Forgot to post the pit window. There we go. Look. So the pit window will open at the end of lap 4 and will close on lap 29. So yeah, interesting pit window. Lap 4 to lap 29, Jamie.
Yeah.
Going to be an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
So lap pit window, then lap 4. Then at the end of lap 4 to the end of lap 29. And who's your money on for this race, Jamie?
I'm going to put my money on Gary.
Yeah, I fancy my money on Gary as well. It's going to be a fascinating race. They are going to do a formation lap, and then we will be underway with the start of this one. As we go down to the grid order on the Discord, the grid order looks like this, and it's reverse championship order. For those who are new to the championship or haven't raced a race yet in the championship, they start from behind the championship leader. So Little Eats then will start himself on pole from PN Motorsport. Don't Know Mate, DJ Phil Green, Peaceful Explosion, the Muts Nuts, Keegs, Fury, Grandad, sorry, no Fury because Fury's not here tonight. So Keegs, Grandad Stay, Falguest on Orthodubs, Gary, and then that Bozzy Boy will start last. So 12 drivers. Liam will start P12, Little Each P1, and where Fury is on that grid slot, he will then start. He won't, well, because he's not here, he won't be starting P8. That'll be for Grandad Steve to start P8. So just promoting Dan and everybody up one extra place. They've not got as much work to do, you wouldn't say?
Yeah, so one less car on the grid, then it means that they haven't got to get past Fury.
And Fury can be tricky. Fury can be tricky to get past. Not the easiest of characters to drive around and get past. 13 people watching. Guys, girls, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button and subscribe if you are new. Hit the bell notification as well for updates of when we are live. We're back live Wednesday night with how to describe Wednesday night, Jamie. Interesting weather in Indianapolis. That's yeah. You remember Malaysia back in the F1 days? Yeah, it's a bit like that. Pro-Am, going to be very interesting. Join me and Dan live for that one on Wednesday night. Join me and Kelly, Sweet and Sticky in your box on Thursday night. And me and Jamie should hopefully be live on Friday for the for the Indy cars. And so as you can see, the guys just slowing down. I will repeat that grid order just when we get towards turn 1 so that you can... Jamie will obviously then go through that list to make sure that we are all in order. So Little Each starting on pole. I see he's already got there. Nicely done. Followed by PN Motorsport. He's just tucked in there. Beautifully done again. Don't Know Mate then into P3. Lovely job. DJ Phil Green is P4. Yes, he is. Followed by Peaceful Explosion. Should be into 5th. He's already there. The Muts Nuts then in P6. Followed by Keegs in 7th place. Grandad Stees in 8th. Falguest is 9th. On Orthodubs 10th. Gary 11th. And that Bozzy Boy 12th. Now it was a toss-up tonight to put Liam in between Dan and Gary or to put Liam behind Dan and Gary. And who could deny us of a Clio battle of Falgas, Grandad Stee, on Orthodubs and Gary starting in a line on the grid in that order? I think we couldn't have been robbed of that battle, Jamie. Do you?
No, we couldn't have been robbed of that battle at all. But so maybe Liam can get in the mix with them.
Hey, that would be an interesting one, wouldn't it? If Liam could just dabble his way in between them then. So we're coming down the Bentley Straight, and the bonus about this formation lap here, not the 300, is it's not going to take you 2.5 minutes. But back to Jamie's earlier comments of Stetson 300 in the GT5 when Liam and Jamie brought that live coverage to you when I was racing myself. That was scary. You just see two cars hit each other side by side and lift up. And like sort of me and a few others drove underneath. A few of us got caught up, and it was like, oh, okay, that's just happened. Yeah, that was crazy, Jamie.
Yeah, that was commentating on that. That's crazy.
Fury's Grandad, evening all. Good luck, everyone. My grandson isn't here, but I am going Orthodox. He says evening to Peaceful Stepdad as well. Good evening, everyone. And Falgast, great comms, guys. See how this goes, he says in the chat. Well, best of luck to all the drivers out there. They're coming to the end of their first of the warm-up lap. We are getting ready to go green here. 11 people watching, 9 likes, guys. Thanks for the support again. For those who haven't liked that thumbs up, hit that thumbs up button yet, do so. Little Each, the minute he gets out of Murray's, is gone here and already is starting to pull away and is going to lead as they get down to the line. Now they cannot overtake until they're at the line, so Little Each has gone early, caught PM Motorsport and Don't Know Mate out. He's already got a 2-second gap nearly, as Don't Know Mate is now under pressure from DJ Phil. Yeah, that is somebody on the grass. Not quite sure who that one is then. Think that may have been Grandad Stay. Don't Know Mate losing out to DJ Phil, trying to get up the inside of PM PM Motorsport. Peaceful's round already as well. What has happened to him? Did he have an incident with Keegs? Because Keegs has also dropped down to P10. So what's happened to Peaceful? He's not got across the line before he's lost it. So Little Leach is gone. DJ Phil up into second. Falgast has got to third. And there's mayhem at turn 1. I think that's that Bozzy boy who's had a moment. Keegs is on the back of him. I did see Don't Know Mate and someone else across the grass. But Unorthodox is now P3. Falgast has dropped down to 6th. He was 3rd a minute ago. And Gary up into P4 now as Little Leach has got a great stellar lead. And look at these boys down the Bentley straight here, Jamie, already on lap 1. Gary, Don't Know Mate, coming in towards Brundle and Murray's. Oh, and that's DJ Phil, who gets a bit of a snap in towards Brundle, I think, or Nelson. I get the two mixed up, Jamie. You'll have to help me with that one.
Yeah, they're now coming through into one hole. I think that's Don't Know Mate. He just run it wide.
Oh, and he's lost it. Lost it, coming through the bomb hole.
Yeah, now coming through the tricky corner. His touch is very light around here, and it's quite easy to run it wide and put it on the grass. But everyone's managed to get through there fine. Little Leach has disappeared up the road. He's 4.5 seconds to the grid already. Yeah,
he's disappeared out front, and he did that coming out to Murray's really, and just got away, controlled them across the line, and maybe took advantage while everybody else was breaking through the corner. Mike Matthews in the chat, joke he says, so I'm not sure what's happened to Peaceful in the background. We'll have to maybe see what happened in there. But Dan then up into second place. He's got Gary 8/10 off the back of him, and Grandad Keeg sticking with Gary here, and Grandad Steve with them as well. The Mutsnuts and Falgast trying to go along. We saw great pace from Falgast last week. Will he be able to keep that up? That Bozzy boy is into P8 with DJ Phil. Ninth, Don't Know Mate is down in 10th. Can he catch the back of DJ Phil? Had good pace in the testing before we came on air. Was running quicker than that Bozzy boy, so I expect to see him maybe do a bit better as Peaceful. And 7 seconds off the back of PN Motorsport already now. Can he get that job done? But I wonder what did happen on that turn 1, because did Little Leach catch a few out by maybe going earlier than expected?
Yeah, so it's quite a long run to. Oh, someone's gone off it. Murray's.
That's Bozzy boy. That Bozzy boy. Yeah. That's allowed DJ Phil and Don't Know Mate through, and Don't Know Mate's looking up the inside into the bomb hole on DJ Phil, and Bozzy Boy trying to follow Don't Know Mate through, and he's now got up the inside, and they're all bouncing off of each other, and Bozzy Boy and Don't Know Mate tap a little bit, and Don't Know Mate has to get on the brakes. You just see the lights flash and get out of that one. Again, a bit of a tap on the rear of that Bozzy Boy. He's trying to take advantage of Don't Know Mate and DJ Phil. Oh, heck of it. Oh, and I tell you what, up and over the jump for good measure. We'll talk about the tap in the braking zone, but he's not gained a place because he decided to turn into Evel Knievel and jump over the sausage curb there, and that Bozzy boy manages to hang on to P9 after making a mistake earlier in this one. Then Dan has got that gap down 2.5 seconds now, and he's taking Gary with him.
Yeah, the Mutsnuts has just got Keegs as well.
Oh, look at this!
Keegs got a little sideways coming onto the Bentley straight that'll compromise him, and Falgast has already got through, and they're not even a third of the way down the straight.
I think Gary made a mistake coming through the first couple of corners here because he was a bit closer to Dan. He's now sort of fell back into this pack here. Oh no, that's Grandad Steve, sorry, apologies. That's Grandad Steve at the front of this pack. There's Dan and Gary, they're long gone. Gary trying to stick with him. Falgast wants to come through, as does Grandad Steve, to try and stick with him and maybe get that championship lead away from Dan tonight. Little Leach just wants to climb up the championship lead then as we go towards the 5th lap of this race. Peaceful now 6 seconds off the back of PN Motorsport, 8/10 quicker last lap, quicker than Bryn and Bozzy and DJ Phil, so a lot quicker than cars in front. Keegs, like you say, pouring onto the Bentley straight, and then after that, if you're not kind of making a move into Brundle and Nelson, you're not making a move through the other parts of the track. This is where Keegs now needs to get into that slipstream.
Yeah, so he needs to get into the slipstream and just say he's just got to line himself up for Brundle and Nelson.
Yeah, he does. He has to make sure that he can get through. Get a good run out this hairpin now. This is where Keegs needs to make up his time. Falgast has got past the Mutsnuts, then up into P5 goes Falgast, trying to get on the back of Grandad Steve. A lot of tyre smoke coming through there. You see the sun setting, it getting darker. The scary tree that's not there in real life, but is still there on the virtual world. And Keegs then still not got much of a run. And it's a shame to have lost that tree, but you could tell 2020 was going to be a bad year when that tree blew over. That was pre-COVID. Yeah. Can you believe it? Do you remember days before COVID?
Vaguely, it seems so long ago.
Here we go then, the Mutsnuts very, very wide coming through Nelson there, and that's Keegs just having a little look and a bit of a wiggle there then from the Mutsnuts as he manages to keep it pointing in the right direction, and Keegs has to tuck back in behind. These two then, the Mutsnuts just holding Keegs up a little here so that Falgast and Grandad Stee are pulling away. The pit window is now open so they can pit as from this lap. The gap out front that was 4 seconds a couple of laps ago is now down to 1.1. So that gap has gone. 16 people watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up button, guys. Girls, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you are new. And I tell you what, here goes Keegs and it's Gary. Is he going for an undercut on Unorthodox here? Because he's in the pit at the end of lap 5.
Yeah, he's perhaps trying to just get himself in a bit of clean air. But say around here, you ought to be in the slipstream. And Mutsnuts got to cut back at 3 Riches on Keegs. Going to be up the inside for Wilson. Yeah,
now that's maybe where we could have saw the bit work at the hairpin, and that's what I mean. Look, Keegs on the outside, he's not as compromised as he would have been if he was going onto the 300 circuit. He's got the run straight back. Look, any name for that little left-hand kink, or?
I don't think there is actually a name for that little left-hand kink.
Right, well, there we go. There we go. So Keegs back into back into P5 is Keegs. Gary came out 7th ahead of DJ Phil, Don't Know Mate, and that Bozzy Boys. Don't Know Mate is ahead of that Bozzy Boy once again. Then bit further back, PN Motorsport has got Peaceful Explosion right on the back of him now, and the run towards the Bentley Straight has PN Motorsport looking left, looking right, and Peaceful in that slipstream. Now you got to. I've always said this, Jamie. I don't know about yourself. You know Snetterton more than me. I've always said you've got to be brave to overtake into this chicane, as Peaceful has comfortably done. PN Motorsport, and that is that Bozzy Boy and DJ Phil. So I'm not sure what's happened to Don't Know Mate.
Yep, DJ Phil's letting them back through.
Yeah, so did DJ Phil touch that Bozzy Boy then, because, or what happened, I'm not sure. But that Bozzy Boy racing on the pad tonight. Is back up into P8. Don't Know Mate then slides through into P9, and Peaceful's on the back of these guys as well. So Peaceful can maybe make his way up into that P8 spot and get ahead of them, as you see Don't Know Mate there on to tours. And I love watching Cleos, and I miss this about Cleos in real life. I used to go to Donington, Jamie, every year and watch them take the last chicane at Donington, just with a bit of sausage curve on the outside. The way they just hit it, go onto the tours. I know the touring cars do it, but there was something about the Cleos that just made it brilliant for me when I used to go and see them live, and it's good to see again.
Yeah, so I was going to say probably the best track to watch the Cleos would be Knott Hill, watching them come through the chicane and come down Duffer's Dip. But yeah, that always used to be very good to watch.
Yeah, it did indeed. Dan then 7/10 off the leader already, so he's managed on lap 7 to get himself within that second mark, and with Gary making an early pit stop, can Gary put the laps in? He's got fresh air, is Gary. He's got 10 seconds of clear air, but as we know in these Cleos, and Jamie said it a moment ago, it's not the clear air that you necessarily want. Dan then is gaining on Little Each for this race lead, and Grandad Steer's got Falgas right up his chuff according to the timing screens as Liam decides to go on 2 wheels there. Peaceful's got his way past DJ Phil, so I don't know what's happened there, and here goes Falgas. He's got past Grandad Stee then, so up into P3 goes Falgas, 3/10 slower that lap than Unorthodox, and there you see Unorthodox and Little Each just out front. Little Each just managing to gap Unorthodox a little bit in these first couple of corners. Now can Little Each here hold Dan up to get Falgas and Grandad Stee back on the rear of him?
Yeah, or say maybe Little Each's plan here is to try and back Unorthodox up to Gary.
Yeah, back him up for the pit stops so that Gary can come past after the pit stops. We'll have to keep our eyes on Gary's time coming down. Now what's happened to the Mutsnuts? He's dropped well off the back of Keegs by some 7 seconds, 8 seconds off the back of Keegs.
I was going to say he's got a bit of damage on the
on the front left it looks like. Yeah, look at the door, just sort of dented in a little bit, so he's hit something or someone, but where, I'm not quite sure. Oh, he's lost it sliding through Brundle and Nelson there, but Falgast ahead of Grandad Stee has gapped him by 0.6 of a second, half a second already, so Falgast charging at the minute. And here's Don't Know Mate, he's got Peaceful Explosion gaining on the rear, 0.4 is that gap, and it's coming down because of the slipstream, but you get the feeling that Peaceful's not close enough and he's gonna run out of road in a moment. Dan's again within 0.2 of Little Each, but we'll just stay with this one a second. Oh, and that's going to allow Peaceful to have a run up the inside of Don't Know Mate, Bryn's his real name, but yeah, he hit the sausage curve very hard and he stays wide and lets Peaceful have the room, and the Mutsnuts has decided to come into the pits at the end of lap 8.
Yeah, so that Unorthodox trying every which way get past Little Leach, but Little Leach moves left, moves right.
Look at the tactics employed there, Jamie, based off of last week, eh?
Yeah, so it's not something I like, but it is effective. It's just not something I like, and not something I deemed very fair.
Yeah, no, I am in your boat with that one, and obviously we had a discussion about that over the weekend, and I am in your boat, and I'm sure Dan will be sat there going, I need a word with Matt and Jamie after this. As Grandad Steel up through the bomb hole, deciding to come back at Falguest then, and having that slipstream on the Bentley Straights allowed Grandad Steel look at Falguest's last lap time with no slipstream, can I just say as well, as he's done a 18.6, a tenth quicker than Dan. Little Leach in the 18s as well. Is that because Dan's giving him the hurry up now, as he's gapped Dan by a second? So
that's because Little Leach is in.
Yeah, but did Dan make a mistake somewhere? Because Dan was gapped by a second from Little Leach. So did Dan make a little mistake somewhere? Did he hit a sausage curb or something? Now, Grandad Steve's not got a very run, because look at Keegs. Falguest got the job done, and Keegs right up the rear of Grandad Steve now. So let's keep our eyes on Gary. Gary then was well behind Little Leach before his pit stops. Keegs trying to come back at Grandad Steve.
Oh, not quite. Keegs is looking for the outside line, going to look for the double slipstream down the Bentley Straight.
As we say, good evening to Dean Wasaki in the chat. Falguest just running a bit wide and losing that traction out the corner, and that's allowed Grandad Steve to maybe have a look. But Keegs is right back in this one here, Jamie, is Gary 2 seconds behind Little Leach then. So 2 seconds, is that enough pace to get on the back of Dan? Dan's now 6 seconds of clear of nobody around him. Grandad steering towards Brundle and then Nelson. And Falguest, I think, just says, yeah, there you go then, mate. You want to stand one up the inside? I'm not gonna fight you around this part of the track.
Yeah, so if he was feeling very brave, he could have tried to go for the cut back into Nelson, but he backed out of it and thought better of it.
Round bomb hole into the quorum now then they come, and Keegs right on the back of Falguest here, and you just see Keegs dabbing the brakes a little bit there through quorum, maybe not wanting to unsteady the car into the bomb into Murray's they come then into the braking zone. Keegs just tapping the brakes a little bit. Now Falguest, I think, lost a bit of momentum through the bomb hole. Through Nelson, should I say. I think he tucked in behind Grandad Steve. Grandad Steve managed to get the run through the corner, and Falguest just had to slow it down a little bit because he's lost a bit of time to Grandad Steve. Nearly 8 tenths down, nearly 9 tenths down, and that one's going to affect him. But what kind of lap times are these boys going to be putting in here? We've seen Keegs pass the Muts Nuts at this part of the track. He couldn't get the nice cut back on Falguest there. Down to the back straight they come. So yeah, after this, me and Jamie catching a plane stateside for the Pro and Pro-Am of Indianapolis Road Course Wednesday and Thursday night. Make sure to tune in for that one. Love the Indy Road Course. Used to love it on the F1 calendar, and it's a beautiful circuit.
Yeah, so the man who's not here tonight, Theory, he definitely loves.
yes. Based off of
especially the final corner.
Based off of season 2. Well, hey, could you imagine if he stayed in Pro-Am for this year with the weather that's about out final corner? Oh dear. A few of us tested the final corner last night in them extreme conditions, and it was not pretty then, as Falguest now gains on the back of Grandad Steve just a little bit here, as Gary is gaining on Little Leach. That gap's down to 1.5 seconds, I feel. Peaceful's got ahead of that Bozzy boy, so we've not seen that one be done, but Liam on the back of Peaceful still. According to the timer screens, just by a couple of tenths. Yep, there is Liam and Peaceful, and he just nice and slowly onto two wheels. Just don't know, mate. I'll try and get on the back of these two once again as well. But Peaceful now, he's kind of in a position. He's had to do it the hard way after the first line incident, but he's in a position where you'd think he may have been anyway. Maybe racing the Muts Nuts, who's down into P10. That he's had a long pit stop, whatever he's done, but. You reckon Peaceful's around a 7th, 8th kind of position, don't you, really, in this one? I don't think he's got the pace of the top 6, but I think he's a lot quicker than the bottom 6.
Oh yeah, so he's definitely got the midfield pace. He just hasn't got that little bit extra to get him onto the back of, say, Falguest and Grandad Steve.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. The Much Nuts lapping in the 119's last lap around. We'll have to see where he is, as that Bozzy boy still trying to come back and look at Peaceful Explosion into the hairpin, and so late on the brakes there, Liam, that he nearly collected Peaceful's rear end there, and I'm sure Peaceful would have been very unhappy about that one. But they come down the start straight. Dan then deciding that lap 12 is the lap that he's going to pit, and in he comes now. This is where we have to keep our eyes on Gary, as Grandad Steve as well comes into the pits. So this is where we have to keep our eyes on Gary, and he's coming through Coram now in towards Murray's. And the 2 dots in the pit lane, I think one is just, I think Dan's just on the move. And I think Dan he's off the limiter now, so this is going to be a close battle. Gary and Little Leach have got that jump on Grandad C, but the undercut for Little Leach didn't work, and Dan going that little bit longer has worked better for him. Now look at Falguest and Keegs, 18.12 and an 18.5. Good laps from them two, but Gary and Little Leach just off the back of an Orthodubs here, but they can work together to chase on Orthodubs, and I'm sure them two are pretty fed up of chasing on Orthodubs for the title or for the race wins at the moment.
Yes, they are. After last season, the GT3s, I'm pretty sure they wanted to get one over on an Orthodubs.
I think Ball, yourself and D Biggs, I think yourself is the person who's mainly took a fight to Dan at parts of last season. Obviously, you had disconnection problems and missed a week because you missed Silverstone, I think it was, weren't you? Because she was away on holiday. But I think you was the one who took the fight to Dan more times than Gary last year. So can Gary do it tonight? Loves Snetterton, loves the Clios, does Gary. What can he do now? Keegs comes into the pit lane, so we imagine Keegs will come out behind Dan, Gary, Little Leach. This little battle here. When does Falguest pit for me, though? That is the question. Free air, no one battling him. When does Falguest pit? That's the big one. 17 people watching, 10 likes on the stream. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. Comment if you just fancy a chat, just fancy getting something in. Whether it's say hi, ask how me and Jamie are, any facts you want about the track, send them in, and I'm sure Jamie can answer them ones for you. As Keegs comes out the pits ahead.
He's there.
Yes, well in front of Grandad Stee. So Keegs getting a big jump on Grandad Stee there. Maybe the undercut isn't as effective straight away. Don't know, mate. Has got to pit. Peaceful. Now, what's happened to Peaceful? Because he's dropped back behind that Bozzy boy. Don't know, mate's got the much nuts on the back of him, but Peaceful has dropped behind that Bozzy boy and was some 2 seconds slower on the last lap. So has he made a mistake somewhere? Have these two had a bit of a tap? We'll have to keep our eyes on that
I wonder whether Peaceful's just clipped one of the sausage curves and just sent himself.
Easily done.
Yeah, very easily done around here, especially Brundle and Nelson. If the car gets sideways, you just end up hitting the sausage curb and you're off into orbit.
Yeah, you really are. Like Sutty did to Gary on a fun event. I think was it a fun event here, wasn't it?
Yeah, Gary's got ahead of Little Leach.
So Gary ahead of Little Leach now. Now, was that job done in terms of an overtake? Was that the Leachy Losers team tactics? Not the Leachy Losers tonight. It's every man for themselves. But I'm sure as Gary goes 1,000th quicker than his fastest lap there and does a what did he do? An 18.3. Well, Falguest has got an 18.2 in his locker at the minute.
The top 4 all did 118s.
Yes, Gary though, the quickest of the lot of them, 2/10 quicker than Dan. Dan 3/10 quicker than Falguest and Little Leach. Falguest was in the 118s yeah,
as well.
Yeah, it was as well. Keegs' was an outlap, wasn't it? Because he's been in the pits. As Grandad Stee getting onto the back of Keegs now. Peaceful, trying to the Much Nuts has got past, don't know, mate. So he's just dropped down a little bit as well. Peaceful then, trying to get on the back of that Bozzy boy here for P7 and 8. And if we look at the table, for Peaceful Explosion here, ahead of the Much Nuts by a couple of points, that'll do him in terms of moving him up that place.
Because Gary's just been overtaken by Little Leach again.
Oh, what has happened to Gary then? I wonder if he's hit the sausage curb, but maybe Nelson. Falguest decides to pull the trigger in the pits on lap 15.
Gary would be a brave boy trying it around the outside of Coram.
Yeah. Now, what did happen to Gary there? Falguest in the pits. These top 3 are all going to get past, but I think the case is where will Falguest, how far will Falguest come out? It looks like he's had a good stop because he's already on his way out. Dan now leads 18.9 for Dan, 18.8 for 19 dead for Little Leach, and a 19.9 for Gary. So we lost a second to Dan. So he's had a moment somewhere, and that would to me would be a sausage curb moment for Gary.
Yeah, that would be a Brundle and Nelson sausage curb moment.
Going back to Peaceful Explosion in the Much Nuts. Peaceful finishing just ahead of him as well. That's good enough for the 2 points.
It's just run a bit wide and let Gary through there. through Wilson.
Interesting tactics going on here. So Peaceful, could he get ahead of Muchnuts tonight? Keeg should get ahead of Fury and Ben Phelan, so that's good for him. Can he stay ahead of Grandad Stee and get himself ahead of Grandad Stee as Peaceful then gets himself into the pits? I reckon that's the job done in terms of the Muchnuts getting in front and maybe staying in front. We'll have to keep our eyes on that one as Don't Know Mate comes in as well. And that is PN Motorsport as well coming into the pits. The only two that haven't pitted yet is DJ Phil and that Bozzy Boy, as Keegs all over the curb has lost out to Grandad Steve somewhere. Other fights in the championship, Little Leach can go above PN Motorsport, Monkey Boy, Don't Know Mate, DJ Phil with a good result tonight, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that one. But Keegs now dropping down to P6, having another strong night though, is Keegs in these Clios.
Oh, excuse me, yeah, Keegs is having a very strong night in the Clios. Look at Gary though, 18.6 compared to Unorthodox is
19-1. He's made back half a second on the second he's lost, hasn't he? As cars just starting to be lapped now. That's PN Motorsport who's been lapped. Now traffic, I think for Dan, just in front of Gary and Little Leach. The traffic, I think, is Peaceful Explosion. I don't know if we can just jump to Peaceful. Yes, that's Dan then, the car behind. Dan, Gary and Little Leach, the car behind him. Then it's Don't Know Mate who's in between Foul Guest, who's just ahead of Foul Guest, and then he's got Grandad Stee and Keegs behind him, and then PN Motorsport has got a lovely gap behind him till you get to that Bozzy Boy and the Muchnuts. But that Bozzy Boy and DJ Phil still to pit yet. Now this isn't going to help Peaceful or Don't Know Mate in terms of letting the leaders through. They're going to have to back off a little bit and just slow their pace, let the leaders through. DJ Phil then comes into the pits at the end of lap 16 for him. We're on to the 17th lap, at the end of the 16th lap for him. It's technically the 16th lap of this race. Sorry, Jamie.
Yeah, so I was going to say the traffic could cause quite a few problems. So both of us watched the British GT at the weekend, and we saw how much problems the GT4s caused the GT3s. So
at Alton Park, where we're at next week. I love how you mix them two together there, Jamie. It's a good little way to get us onto next week. We're at Alton Park, the Foster's layout. So you thought we did the short Snetterton. Well, you thought we did the middle ground Snetterton. We're doing the short Alton. So that should be an interesting one. The old Super Tour areas that used to race around the Foster's Loop. We are doing the Foster's circuit then, as DJ Phil does lose out to Don't Know Mate, and PN Motorsport gets past as well, as DJ Phil just comes out the pits now. He is somewhat down the order a little bit there then. Now going back to Dan now on the back of Peaceful Explosion. Gary has Little Leach on the back of him again. Gary, Jamie, on the last lap half a second quicker, but Little Leach a tenth quicker than Gary on the last lap, and really sort of saying to his, come on bro, let's move it along here, mate, because I've got the pace to get past you here.
Yeah, so from watching Gary, it looks like he's just trying to push a bit too hard because he keeps going deep. I saw him go deep into Wilson. He just went a bit deep into Grundle. So perhaps he's just pushing quite hard.
Yeah, maybe the bro needs to just ease off a little bit and let Gary get away. Although that push from Little Leach has given Gary the pace to keep going, and again Little Leach a little bit quicker. But look at Dan, even when lapping Peaceful, just slightly. He was only a hundredth of a second quicker than Little Leach. So
I was going to say, you look at Grandad Stee though, 18.2.
A great time from Grandad Stee, an 18.2. We've seen Falguest do an 18.2 earlier. Falguest as well in the 18.4s. Look at the top six, all in the 18s. Yeah, that's brilliant lapping from these guys at the minute. Yeah. Gary now has that gap to Dan under 2 seconds, Jamie. Little Leach just dropped off the back of Gary a little bit maybe when lapping Peaceful Explosion there, but Gary has that gap to Little Leach under 2 seconds. As I was just about to read the comments, and Peaceful Stepdad say good evening to Dean, and Dean saying evening back. Evening,
so
Peacefuls.
Yeah, so I wonder whether Unorthodox just got a helping hand off Peaceful there, getting his slipstream down the Bentley straight.
Yeah, I wonder if that was the factor, because Gary this lap has continued to charge on Unorthodox a little bit. Now sometimes, this sounds silly, but sometimes when the Clio is behind, it can sort of help you hurry up, can't it? You're not getting a slipstream, but it can sort of push you along, if you will. Gary's not really got that from Craig at the minute, has he?
No, so from what it looks like, Gary's just trying to gap.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you look at this for a race, and Gary's closing on Dan. But Dan's, you know, a 2/10 slower per lap. But look at the times that are coming in: 18.5, 18.3, 18.9, 18.9. All right, Grandad Stee and Keegs in the 19s, but an 18.3 from Gary. Just when Dan starts to up his pace a little bit, Jamie, Gary says, "Well, you can, because I've got more in the tank."
Yeah, Gary just another dub says, "Look, I can do this." That time, and Gary just turns around and says, "Match this then."
Yeah, Gary has lost a cut 2-3 tenths so this lap. So I wonder if he's gone a bit deep or something through one of the corners. As look at him, I tell you what, he looked to take that way too fast, but made it stick. Gary is glued to this road at the minute. Dean saying that these cars look fun. Well, Dean, space on the grid, mate. If you fancy you go next week, just drop us a message on the Discord. There is space on the grid if you did want to try yourself out at the Clios on what is the Alta Port Foster's pretty relatively easy track, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's a pretty relative.
Oh,
yeah.
Now, sorry, Jamie. Has Gary made a mistake? I'm just watching back, and he misses the apex of Murray's, and that allowed Little Each to have a run. But Gary's now dropped 4 or 5 tenths off the back of Dan. Look, losing 6 tenths on the last lap. Little Each, an 18.1. That's the fastest we've seen tonight, so he is flying at the minute. And I tell you what, these Leachy brothers need to get a move on and get closer to Dan, because this could be a heck of a fight. Where was this pace from Craig last week?
Yeah, so he's pulled this pace out of absolutely nowhere.
He really has. Like a rabbit from a hat, Little Leach has dug deep and has got some great pace in there. Grandad Steve with an 18.6. Keegs just starting to drop off the back of him as that Bozzy boy, P7 at the minute, still not yet pitted. And Little Each, well, he's not got Brundle and Nelson, right? That's a horrible mistake for him there, and he's dropped well back. JR Sim Racing, always some of the best racing in his Clios. Yeah, absolutely. Clios bring real good entertainment and real good value for money. As Gary then again closing that gap a couple of tenths to unorthodox. We're on lap 21 of 37, so the lap's slowly ticking away here. As it gets darker and darker, Jamie, these boys are really starting to have to fight for it now and really have to use the artificial light. And Dan, I tell you what I've noticed with Gary, sorry, before you get on to what you was going to say. Dan seems to gap Gary through Murray's. Like a lot.
Yeah.
Like you watch the gaps between Gary and Dan. The minute Gary gets through Brundle Nelson, through the bomb hole into Coram, he's bringing that gap down. The minute he gets to Murray's, Dan seems to be there. Dan seems to have an answer and get a better run onto the start straight.
Yeah, so maybe I know he's just running himself a bit, or running a bit wide at Murray. He's getting a tighter entrance to the corner and getting the traction down a lot earlier.
Possibly so. That gap creeping up to 3 seconds. What was under 2 seconds a minute ago. Like, watch Gary through here. Look at that gap. Just come down ever so slightly. Around this part of the track as well. Gary will just bring that gap down a bit more. Look, here's another tenth chipped away. And then the minute they hit Murray's, now don't forget, Gary will catch up naturally. That's the natural thing of the cars. Look, down to 2.5 seconds. The minute Gary gets on the exit of this corner here, the gap's back up to 2.9 seconds, as if Dan's just gained a couple of tenths through Gary on that last corner. Is Dan just feeling that, like you're saying, is he taking that tighter line through there? Is he able to brake a bit later on the exit to Coram into Murray's?
From watching it, I think Dan's is just letting the power off a bit earlier than Gary, and then so he can get a better exit off of Murray's, whereas Gary is just coming into the corner full throttle and then slamming the brakes on so it doesn't get as good of an exit.
Compromising the run down the straight that may be helping Dan. 17 people watching, 10 likes. Guys, girls, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you are new. We'll be back live Wednesday night around the Indianapolis Road Course for the Pro-Am with juicy weather. We'll be back Thursday night for just box standard weather with the looks of things at the moment for the Pro Series. That BMW, I reckon, is a shout. Is a shout round. And Dean, I like the rookies, he says in the chat. Rookies, good car. Good car, don't mind the rookies. They're interesting. Slidey. Slipstream that is overpowered as anything. But now the rookies bring some decent racing as well. Damage, different story. Now Little Each has really not got the pace without that slipstream, has he? He's dropped off the back of Gary. after making that mistake a few laps ago, and he's slowly falling into the clutches of Falguest here. That gap is just over 2 and a bit seconds, 3 seconds nearly, to Falguest and Little Leach. 2.6 up, but Little Leach this time around, what's he lapped? 19 dead. You look at Falguest, he's just crossed the line, and 18.7, so 3 tenths quicker. Falguest, Grandad Steve, and 18.6 last time around as well, so he could be in this little mix as well. But it just seems since Craig's lost that slipstream then, Jamie, that he's just struggling for that outright pace.
Yeah, so he's... Well, yeah, without the help of that slipstream, he's just slowly falling in back into the clutches of Falguest. Oh, we've lost Grandad Steve.
We've lost Grandad Steve. And just before 3/4 distance. So he won't score a point here tonight. What a shame for him. Because he was on for some decent points again. But that is a big, big shame if you're Grandad Steve. Makes his 4th appearance here at SimPlay Motorsport tonight. But yeah, shame to have lost him because he was on for some decent points. 16 people watching, 10 likes, guys, girls, hit that thumbs up button on it. Really puts a smile on mine and Jamie's face. Little Leach then. 2.7 now to Falguest. He's as close to Falguest as he is to Gary then. Just looking down the pack. Not really any battles anywhere else at the minute. That the Much Nuts is 9 seconds behind Liam. Liam still to pit and has got to pit within the next couple of laps, Jamie. So he's got to get it done rather soonish.
Yeah, so he's got to be in rather sharpish, if not.
End of lap 29, Liam's got to be in, and we're on lap 25 now. While I'm here, rule change for the pros. Pit window was just a little bit too long in terms of opening and closing. That has been shortened to 20% and 70%, so the pit window will be even shorter now in the pros, meaning that the pit stop should come thick and fast, and then it could be, well, that could bring anything. I think Dan may have this one in the bag now, Jamie. Gary a 19.2 last lap, 3 tenths slower than Dan, but 3.5 seconds. I think Dan may have this one in the bag. Falguest 2.5, so again a couple of tenths he's pulled on Little Leach, as that Bozzy boy now pits at the end of what is lap 24 for himself. He will go a lap down here to Dan, I imagine. Now where is the closest? So the Much Nuts has just got past. Where's Peaceful? He's just coming in to Brundle and Nelson. Liam has jumped Peaceful by going longer a decent amount here. I know Liam's got to he's waiting, he's obviously repairing some damage, maybe changing the tyres, maybe adding some fuel, because I do believe that the tank fuel in these cars is 36 laps and we have 37 laps. As he's away now, the green cones indicate the pit lane speed limiter. He's gone, and Peaceful is only just coming through Murray, so Liam has got a good jump over Peaceful Explosion.
Yeah, so what I was going to say, whilst there's no battles lost, thinking of whilst this Snetterton's been in the dark, does anyone remember the night races that they had back in the Super Touring era?
99. 99. Watched that DVD the other day, and I tell you what, didn't them cars look good? The way they put like the neon things on the stickers to make them glow a little bit. Oh, beautiful.
So I remember a certain line from Charlie Cox when Ivan Miller went flying over the chicane. I think it was That's a Goal, as he slammed into the side of James Thompson's Honda.
That Aussie boy goes a little wide there. Sorry, Jamie. Yes.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Beautiful times. Yeah. The Nissan was my favourite car in the night race. Looked beautiful because it was white, so you could see it a bit better anyway. And then when they put the things to make the sponsors look a bit, shine a bit more, glow a bit more, yeah, brilliant livery. But I thought it was brilliant. And Snetterton of all places, you know, you'd have probably put your money on somewhere like Silverstone hosting the F1, you know, may have had the chance of hosting a night race back in the day, but no, Snetterton. And I'm all for it. I'm all for a night race in the touring cars again. I think it'd be brilliant, but it's not as it once was in the Super Tour era, is it? So we're not going to get them night races once again. Falguest on the back of Little each year. Sorry, Jamie.
I was going to say, to be fair, it's near enough did have a night race last season because of how late it was. How late the championship went in the season, because Team Dynamics did actually put those
Yeah.
neon stickers on the car.
I remember that. Also, as Little Each looks like he was going to go deep, but managed to hold on to it. Brands Hatch GP, race 3 every year, is pretty much a night race.
Yeah.
The lights of the cars are taking over. What did I watch the other day? 2014 when Turkington won, 2015 when Turkington won, I think it was.
That was 2014, and I remember it very fondly because I was there at the circuit getting drenched.
There we go. And I remember watching race 3, and Plato was winning in his MG, and it was just like, wow, you know, this may as well be in the night. Look at the drum. Falgues, though, got out of Murray's, and he's coming down the start straight now. Looks left, looks right, goes back to the right, comes up side by side with Little Each, and round into Rich as they go. And I think Falguest is going to get that job done, you know, up into P3 and back on the podium for Falguest. He's coming up now towards the Wilson hairpin. Can Little Each keep it around the outside? Gary's lost out even more to Dan over these last couple of laps, and Falguest gets the job done. Now, we've seen Little Each in the slipstream of Gary be on it. Can he be on it here for another podium with Falguest? Don't forget, we'll speak with the top 3 at the end of this race. But Falguest job done, onto the podium at the minute. Just looking down the order, Peaceful's in 10 seconds of that Bozzy boy. Don't know, mate. It's got P&M Motorsport 10 seconds behind him. DJ Phil's 2 seconds behind P&M. Now, with this race being done, Jamie, just want to ask you a question. Would Gary drop back to Little Each past Falguest, or is Gary all out attack in case Dan makes a mistake?
I think Gary will be there until the end in case something happens to North Dubs, because North Dubs might disconnect. He might drop it, so he's just got to be there until the end, and then as soon as he knows that an Orthodubs has won it, then maybe he might just slow right down.
Falguest, I'm expecting Little Each maybe to just stick with Falguest a little bit here. Falguest just getting away, Little Each coming back at him a little bit in that slipstream, but Falguest managing to keep the gap to Little Each over the curve. Oh, just running a bit too much over the curve there. And will that give Little Each a run coming through the hairpin? Now, I've not done much testing in these cars myself, so I'm not quite aware of the tyre wear. Unlike GT3s, where we're all on quite a lot of the time and we all test, we kind of know what the tyre wear's like on certain cars. I don't know about you, Jamie, but I'm not quite sure on the tyre wear of these Clios.
Yeah, so to be fair, I haven't really raced them either, or raced them much either, so you don't really know what the tyre wear. Yeah. Also, we've raced them on a previous league, but we didn't have tyre wear turned on.
No, we didn't. So we didn't know what the tyre wear was like. Even when they got red, they wasn't wearing. If you know what I mean, they was just getting hot. As Peaceful gets that gap down to 8 seconds to that Bozzy boy. So he's coming with the final couple of laps to go.
I've just found out that Snetton's not been the only touring car night race.
Ah, really? Well, before you tell us which one, Grandad, stay in the chat. Sorry, guys, internet went down. No worries, buddy. Shame to have lost you on. We'll see you next week at Alton Park for sure. Go on then, Jamie. That other touring car race fit now?
Silverstone in 2000.
Well, there we go. The year after Snetterton in the dark. That is PN Motorsport getting out the way there as he goes another lap down. Rightly so. Now, Dan's lapping DJ Phil, I do believe. This could be interesting here. Phil's moved out of the way. Phil always gets out of the way. And I was just about to say, this could be interesting if Dan gets held up by a few back markers, as Gary was a couple of tenths quick last lap. Well, that wasn't to be. Coming up to Don't Know Mate next, though, is Dan. So we'll have to see what... no, is he coming up to Don't Know Mate? That looked like the Mutsnuts in front of Dan next. Just, yeah, it is the Mutsnuts, in fact, in front of Dan next. So Don't Know Mate will be the car in front of the Mutsnuts, I reckon. So the Mutsnuts must just be about to come up to the back of Don't Know Mate to lap him. And Peaceful again took 3 seconds out of Liam's time that time around. So Liam just starting to struggle at the back end of this race. Is he just starting to have that tyre wear that me and Jamie aren't aware of just start to take effect here? Because Peaceful catching him, and Little Each still on the back of Falguest here for P3. And that one looks like it's hotting up a little bit.
Yeah, so Little Each sticking in.
Oh, wow. An 18-0 from Little Each. He is really sticking with him. I think that's the fastest lap of the race so far. Little Each has looked good when he's in the slipstream. The minute that toe is gone, Little Each doesn't look like he's got the outright pace, does he? It looks like he's got the pace with a toe as DJ Phil goes very, very wide at Wilson to let the two leaders through. I think Little Each thought about sending one up the inside, but there was no room for it. as that Bozzy Boy crosses the line, and Peaceful now crosses the line, and Peaceful again takes another second out of Liam's time there. So Liam just starting to fall into a bit of bother here, as Little Leach, although he's got this great pace, look at the closing speed into Nelson there. That's brilliant. I was just about to say, although he's got the pace in the slipstream, he's not able to make a move on Falgast, is he? His Grandad Steve, great racing and great commentary. Thank you, Grandad Steve, really appreciate that. Yeah, he's not able to make that move on Falgast, is he? He's got the pace in the slipstream, but the final move just isn't coming.
No, see, Falgast is just putting his car in the right area, and there's just not really a gap for Little Leach.
So will Little Leach be able to get the job done? We'll have to see as this race continues into lap 32 of 37. So we are coming to the back end of this race now. For Little Leach here, he's not got long, Jamie, to get this one done.
No, he doesn't have very long at all. So he wants to be getting on with this.
Yeah, he really does. Traffic then up front. Oh, they're both run deep.
Falgast had a massive slide, and he's cut the corner. So that Little Leach flashing. So rightly so, because Falgast has cut the corner. So really, Falgast should be given. Yeah,
he should yield a bit of. Yeah, so he should yield some time. Now, I just want to alert you to the fact that Gary is massively pulled some time back on Dan. Dan's had some traffic here, and I think it's been the Muts Nuts, and now he's on the back of Don't Know Mate, I do believe. Dan he's getting past Don't Know Mate now. He's pulled to the right hand side. I think Dan's had a spot of bother there, getting past a few of the back markers, because Gary's pulled back nearly a second on Dan this lap. Now, all right, granted, Gary's got to get past the same drivers, but is Dan now making a mistake, or did Dan just get caught up in traffic? Normally, it's the traffic one. We don't really see unorthodox make too many mistakes, like you don't see many pro drivers make too many mistakes, Jamie yourself included in that one. So you can't really say it's maybe an error, but these are different cars to the GT3s, and Snetterton's a different kettle of fish. Just clipping a sausage curb is very easily done.
Yes, I wonder whether Dan or unorthodox has just caught the back marker going into Brundle and Nelson. It's a bit of a tricky area to move.
He's created a gap, and a bit of an argy-bargy bump there from Falgast, who tries to keep it in the track limits this time and does so. And now, did he get a run onto Little Leach here? But it was a bit of a tap from the two of them, bit of a whack door to door, as Little Leach managed to get a door open going into the hairpin. Falgast looks like he's going to come past Little Leach here on the straight. Tell you what, the camber of them tyres must be fantastic on Falgast's car, because that's Don't Know Mate all over the sausage curb as Gary's trying to get past and unlap it and put a lap on Don't Know Mate, sorry. But so that's gave Dan a bit of time back, not a lot of time back there, only a couple of tenths. Little Peaceful Explosions within 5 seconds of Liam, so he's pulled another 2 seconds back on the last lap as Peaceful Explosion running very well to try and get back to P7 as Little Leach got Falgast, lost out to Falgast. He's back in that slipstream. They're back going at it once again. They're coming up to lap Don't Know Mate and the Muts Nuts, as Gary's still got to get past the Muts Nuts, just looking at the dots on the track map. But can Gary use the Muts Nuts here now? Yeah, Gary lost 2 tenths last lap to Dan, and that gap's back to 3.5 seconds. But I've lost my pen. I've got my pen. We're back. Falgast here then, trying to lap Don't Know Mate, who slows down to the outside, and that really has helped Falgast keep Little Leach behind him there, Jamie, because Little Leach couldn't come up the inside because there was a back marker to the left and Falgast to the right.
Yeah, so Little Leach, I thought he was just going to end up pushing him wide and nicking up the inside.
Well, at the minute, all going according to plan. Lap 34 37, all going according to plan if you're on Orthodox. Gary will take this on his first outing, and the Muts Nuts slides wide. Don't come back on. You're not going to lose a place because Don't Know Mate's a lap down behind you, and he doesn't. Stays out the way, comes back on now, and Little Leach just having a look maybe at Coram as an opening, but I wouldn't fancy my chances at Coram. I'd try and set them up to maybe make a mistake going into Murray's, as Gary is just catching Dan a bit here. I say that, and he loses half a second all of a sudden on the time screen, so I'm not sure what that was, but Little Leach pushing hard. Dan crosses the line, a 19 dead. Gary crosses the line, a 19 dead. 2,000ths quicker than Dan. These two cross the line, 18 sixes for the pair of them. So these two, 4 tenths quicker than the leaders. I don't think they've got time to win this race. I don't think Gary's got time to get on the back of Dan. But what a battle we're getting for second place here. Peaceful on the back of Liam. That gap's opened up to about 8 seconds. A look for Little Leach. Can't get it done. The darkness is really setting now, Jamie, as well.
Yeah, so it's got properly dark here now. So if I look outside, it's exactly the same as it does outside right now.
And what are you, half an hour away from the circuit?
Yeah, I'm about half an hour away from the circuit.
There you go. Half an hour away, Jamie is. So you'll just see Jamie stood on his loft, stood on his roof of his house, commentating. Glitching all over the place where he's about to lag out. As lap 35 and 37 coming around to start lap 36, and Falgas didn't get a run out to Nelson that he wanted, and through the bomb hole goes Little Leach and Falgas. Little Leach up the inside then, and Falgas, you reckon's going to yield into Coram. I think he does so. He'll be brave to keep it around the outside and then up the inside into Murray's. But I tell you what, he's looking, now decides that, nope, not going to get it done there. I'll go again next lap. I'll have the slipstream. He's clattered the sausage curb, and that's going to lose all the traction and momentum out of that corner. And he's still got 2 laps in. We saw Falgas last week. Made that mistake at Silverstone Classic. Got it back on the last lap to get on the back of down and make the move. Is it going to be another Falgas special where on the last lap he gets a podium?
Yeah, so he might push really hard now. He might just concede the fact that Little Leach has got that position. Yeah,
what will happen? Lap 36 or 37. Peaceful to Liam. He's back up to 10 seconds. So Peaceful had a bad lap last time around. Look, 23.5 for him and a 20.7 for Liam. Them two, I'm not sure where them two. I think Liam's about to cross the line, and I think Peaceful's just coming around Murray's now. Then, yeah, Liam did a 21.5 last time around. And what will Peaceful do? Has he closed that gap anymore? No, in fact, he's actually lost a second. Now these two are gaining on the back of Gary here, and I wonder, could they challenge Gary on that last lap of this race then? And Gary's also still closing, but Little Leach was wide through the bomb hole, and that's allowed Falgas a great run up the inside here. And here comes Falgas back up at the inside of Coram. Little Leach is going to keep it around the outside, and this is brave stuff. You see the dab on the brakes mid-corner. He tucks back in, thinks of the run through Murray's down the straight, and Falgas saw an opening, went for it there on Little Leach. Great manoeuvre from him. Gary's coming into play a little bit, you reckon? Wow, what good racing from these two. It's been great racing all night, to be fair, Jane. We've not seen too many incidents, so good, clean stuff from these Clio drivers.
Yeah, not seen any incidents, really, apart from
Peaceful round at the start, wasn't he? But we didn't see that one. But no, nice, clean stuff, hasn't it been all night?
Ooh, Little Leach giving a little tap on the back of, so I guess not doing anything that you shouldn't be.
No. That is Clio racing. Little tap, little door up. We saw it last week with Falgas and Dan. We've seen it now with Little Leach and Falgas once again. Dan then comes into Brundle and Nelson, as does Gary, as do these two. Dan then will jump on board with him in just a moment. But right now, these two come round the corner, and this looks like it's going to be win number 19 at SimPlay Motorsport for Unorthodox. But the other thing as well to notice as we cut back to Dan, let's just jump back to Little Leach a second. Last braking zone, you think. Oh, he forces the door open. Now we'll cut back to Dan and jump back that in a minute. So Dan then is going to win the race. Great job for him. Gary's going to come across to take a P2. Good stuff for Gary on his first outing in this. And Falgas hangs on for a P3. Bit of a rub with Little Leach at the end. Boo comes across for a P4. Keegs then way back, as that was Liam, I think, there. Oh, Keegs getting horribly out of shape now. Who's the next person to Keegs? The Much Nuts, who's a lap down. So
yeah, 45 seconds behind.
Yeah, so he's then going to finish where he is in P7. No, sorry, in P6. Keegs is going to come on P5 then.
Yeah, don't make finished in P9. I think DJ Filler's finished as well, and PN Motorsport has finished.
Don't know, mate. Finished P9. PN Motorsport finished in 11th place, which means Peaceful then. I don't think it's going to gain the 8 seconds to gain on Liam. Here comes Keegs across for P9, so Peaceful will get P8. That Bozzy boy then will take P7. And what a good battle that was. What a good Snetterton race that was. Good race, dude. Well done, Dan. So brilliant race, Falgas, says Little Leach in the chat. Fastest lap of the race, Little Leach's 18.0. Heck of a lap that from Little Leach. So he'll gain an extra point as well as the 13 he takes away from that one. Jamie, get the top 3 in, and we'll just quickly do the tables. We'll get them sorted while Jamie gets the top 3 in. So we remove the 26 points from there. 78 points still up for grabs in this one. So a lot of points still up to play for. It's not done with yet. And Dan, though, has extended his championship lead to 17 points. Keegs now goes up into 3rd with Grandad Steve disconnecting on 35. He's 37 off the lead. Grandad Steve is 42 behind then. And then you drop down to the Mutsnuts P5 ahead of Ben Phelan, who drops to 6th. Fury drops to 7th. Peaceful stays in 8th place, but only just off the back of Ben Phelan and Fury. Gary then goes up into 9th place. Little Leach up into 10th with DJ Phil 11th. Don't Know Mate in 10th. PN Motorsport in 13th. Liam then 14th. Sooty 15th. Monkey Boy 16th. And RJ Dale yet to get going in this one. Really enjoy... Dean... Fury's Grandad, well done, Dan. Great battle between Falguest and Little Leach. Really good, clean race. Enjoyed every lap, says Dean. Really enjoyed that big old smile on my face from Little Leach. Good apart from the slowing at the start line from P2, causing us to brake, says Michael Matthews in the chat. Who have we got joining us, Jamie? Well, Dan's in. I don't know who the other one is.
Gary and Dan.
Ah, so we've got Falguest.
We've got everyone now.
Yeah, so while we've got Falguest in, Falguest. P3 wasn't the result you was looking for, but a heck of a battle in them last couple of laps. 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. It was a very good race, actually. Leach was very quick, and Gary and Dan as well. Well done for those two. Very good race as well. It was nice and clean, actually. Very clean one.
Yeah, it was a very clean one this week. You left it to the last part of the race again. You seemed to be good at the very end of the race. It's just a shame you wasn't a bit closer to Dan to challenge for that lead again.
Yeah, I had a bit of a messy first lap. I had to let a load of cars go because of an incident. But yeah, so Dan kind of got away and so did Gary. But it was, just consistency. Get my head down and see what I could do, kind of thing.
Well done, mate. Alton Park Foster's next week. A fan of the circuit. What can we do there?
Yeah, well, hopefully another podium. Fingers crossed. But we'll see.
Well done, buddy. We'll let you go back to it.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate. We've got Gary in as well, and we don't normally speak to Gary on a Monday night, but Gary, that was interesting. You made it difficult for Dan at times.
Yeah, it was different to what I'm used to. Front wheel drive for a spanner in the works, but yeah, it was good fun.
A lover of the Snetterton circuit, a lover of the Clios as well. Good to be back in them.
Yeah, it's good fun. I've missed them, to be fair, but default loose setup probably isn't as quick as it should be, so
Did Craig not give you the unorthodox setup that he shared about between the field?
No, I don't get none of that, do I?
Terrible.
Make me own. Yet when he's in trouble, I lend him one. But that was good fun. But like I said, I'll try and get it quicker and hopefully join in next week as well.
Well, brilliant, mate. Alton Park Foster's then if you're here next week. What's your thoughts on the little square circuit?
Lovely. I love all the British tracks, you know me.
Yeah. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you next week if you join us, Garrett.
Cheers, mate. Well done, Dan. Well done, Falguest.
And we got Dan in as well, and Dan 19 wins, 3 behind Jamie now, and looking juicy in the championship as well, a 17-point gap. Easier than last week.
Yeah, definitely so. I did have a little bit of a sweaty moment towards the end, as I think I may have misjudged my fuel. So towards the end of the race, I was actually running a little bit in lean just to make sure I made it to the end. So I was being a little bit conservative to the end.
Good race, though. Good pace from everybody. Talk us through that first couple of laps, because you seemed to get the jump on the others early on, and didn't really. There was times you had to look back at Gary, but didn't really have to fight too hard tonight compared to last week.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what actually happened at the start. I just come down the main straight, and next thing I know, I see Peaceful in the middle of the circuit, and I had to avoid him. So I'm not exactly sure what had happened there, but I got lucky. I think Falguest got caught up in a little bit more than I did, and I think Gary pretty much just followed me through. But this is Snetterton, and this is where Gary seems to be always good at. So to actually beat Gary fair and square here is quite a proud moment, to be honest, because he knows this track better than anyone else, and he is definitely one of the hardest people to beat here. So it was nice.
Next time down, and then we can have a fair race.
I mean, mate, if you go speak to Little Each, you're more than welcome to get it, mate, and we'll go again.
Alton Park Fosters next week then, Dan. Small little square circuit. That should be an interesting one. That could provide some good battles.
Yeah, I haven't driven that in a very, very long time. I've used to driving the Island and the GP, or International as it's called. Yeah, the Fosters one might catch me out a few times, but might have to do a bit of practice for that one. But it should be fun and should be exciting.
Yeah, we can't wait to see the Foster circuit back. We can't wait to see Alton Park back as well. Another evening to night race as well, so that one should throw another spanner in the works. We'll be back then Wednesday night with an interesting night of Pro-Am racing for you. The thunderstorms that are around, if they get pushed to Thursday, we'll see what these Pro boys are made of, because they always seem to get it a bit easier than the Pro-Am lads. But Pro is well back on Thursday night at 8 PM BST for them too. We hope to get IndyCar underway as well, and keep your eyes out on the Facebook group and the Discord server as well for Facebook page, should I say, for 3 new series coming very, very soon, and we are very excited to see them. I'm not going to get final words from Jamie because he's had to run off to the toilet, but we'll see you Wednesday night 8 PM BST, where me and Dan will be in the commentary box for that one, taking you through the action as we fly stateside for Indianapolis. Cannot wait. We'll see you next time though. Take care and good night.
Well done, guys.
Well done, mate.
Back to next week.
Yeah, should be good.
Have a good one.
Should be good, that. Should be good. Yes. Yeah. Floyd! Bedtime.
You set a lobby up, you big Jew.
I can do, you great Jew. I can't hear what you're saying. I'm just setting a lobby up and then I'll go up and check in, babe.
Oh dear. Right. I just finished this last day.
Whoa! Whoa!
Whoa, what? What's happened?
Can't speak to her like that. She's pregnant now. That's it. Come on. Do what she needs you to do. Chop chop.
Swat. Yeah, stick it on now. Yeah, I'll have one. What is the time? It's only 9:10, isn't it? Yes, boy.
Fucking, what was I gonna say? What was I gonna say?
I don't know.
Oh, with that fucking bag of fucking dishwasher tablets, she must have bought about 4 boxes of 3 tablets home today.
Yes, boy.
You've got fucking hundreds in there. You've even got named brand ones in there, as well as just Centre Parks ones. You're lucky, you are.
Yes. Fuck me, it'd be cheap for you to get a dishwasher now.
Fucking mate, probably fucking would, you know.
Best thing we ever bought, I think.
Well, he says it'd probably be cheaper for you to get a dishwasher now with what tablets we've got. She wants one, but that's it. That's all she said to me. Well done, Dan.
I knew I had to break the toe before you got too close.
I would have made it interesting if you'd let me have a bit of toe.
It would have been, but then again, I want to make sure I beat Falco, so...
Oh yeah, true.
I do prefer this.
I would love to race you, Gary, but I know for a fact that here at Snetterton, you would pull out moves that I would never know you could fucking pull.
Let me just check the weather for this week.
Plus, also, I'm still a little bit fresh from the sim zone from racing it, the final race there. So.
Oh right.
Weather.
Yeah, I'm racing for ages.
Yeah, I literally finished the sim zone and jumped straight into the SimPlay Championship.
Right, I need to change the
You've had
weather.
a bit of practice, eh?
Yeah, a little bit.
It is medium cloud, looks like for you lot.
I need some practice on this fucking thing.
And what's it changed to for Wednesday? Still thunderstorm, but less chance.
Why has Dean asked me for me wheel settings?
Because he's fucking reset his wheel again and lost his settings.
Oh my god, they're gonna be miles down here. Oh, hold on, they'll already be in our fucking thingy bob, won't they? Already sent them to them about 1 million times. Why can't he just go on the fucking...
Oh fuck.
They're in here, you spastic. They're already in this chat, you harm.
Peaceful's posted a video. Can I have this looked at, please? Ruined my start. No way third, fourth for myself in fourth.
That start was fucking carnage.
I was gone.
Yeah, Craig dropped everybody and then they all fucked up from there.
I genuinely thought for a second I wasn't able to catch him because he was like 5 seconds down the road. I was like, I ain't getting
Why did that PM
no
Motorsport break? I reckon Bryn and Phil did the right thing by staying behind because he wanted the line. I reckon PM Motorsport was in the wrong here. You are lucky that you ain't got the weather for Wednesday, by the way.
Why? I want it. I want it.
You don't want it. You
Thunderstorms, I've seen it.
Yeah, no, we can't even have it as thunderstorms.
Why?
Because you can't get around the last fucking corner.
Fuck it.
Oh, mate, me, Kieran, I think Jamie had to go, Mazda were doing it, Dean, DJ Phil.
I literally done a lap.
You just have to... You have to tiptoe around that last corner. It was just... The puddles aren't bad. It's just the last couple of corners are terrible. Right, I'm just going to sort Floyd out.
Oh yeah, I better make her a cup of tea rather than fucking getting out on the track. Come for some laps, right?
What's that?
Come for some laps?
Nah, mate. Doing the points.
No.
I'm doing the points.
Fuck the points. We need fucking points in this fucking GT3.
Oh no, I don't know why I'm doing it, beyond. He didn't post them last week, did he? What a fool.
Although I'm quite happy with my start here, the way the Renault goes.
There we go. That's that done. Oh, what car?
I'll be back on in a bit. Just quickly whack these.
Right. Right, so that's all installed. We'll resume that. Resume F1.
Yep.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.